Welcome back, everyone. This is part 3 of our little series of catch-up vlogs. Part 3 is from December of 2017 to May of 2018. So part 2, we ended in November. If you haven't seen part 1 or part 2 yet, you should definitely go watch them. I mean, you don't necessarily have to have watched them, but I would love if you did, to get the kind of full picture of what you've missed since the last time you saw us. This will complete 2017, which is cool. Finally, all that stuff will be done. We can really get into 2018. I mean, we didn't film anything in 2018 at all. There's a few things that I wanted to tell you about that happened in 2018 until May, but we really didn't start filming anything again until May. So without further ado, let's catch up a bit even more. So right after getting back from Thanksgiving, I had surprised Giselle with tickets to see Messiah, which is a piece by Handel. It's this really long piece by Handel. You probably know at least part of it. The Hallelujah chorus is from Messiah. I surprised Giselle with tickets to go see it. She loves that piece, and we had talked about going to see it before, and she's talked about seeing it in the past. So I got tickets for it to go see it in Worcester, Massachusetts, which is not too far away from here. We thought it would be fun and cool to go see it right at the beginning of December. So we just got out of seeing Handel's Messiah. It was my first time ever seeing it performed live before.
I think this was my first time, because normally if it's performed around Christmas time, they tend to just do the first act and skip most of the second. So I think this was my first full time.
Seeing it full and complete. Yes. It was really cool seeing it with the full orchestra and choir. I don't really know the piece all that well, very much, just little pieces of it. But I really love seeing live performances from orchestras and choirs and just those kinds of things. So it was a lot of fun to sit and watch through. It was about 2.5 hours long, with an intermission also. So it was really good. I think we both really enjoyed it, right?
Yes, definitely. It was beautiful. And the tenor especially, fantastic.
The tenor soloist was my favorite.
Yes.
Yeah. And then, if you don't know that, there's 4 soloists and then a full choir and then the orchestra.
Yeah, the alto was really good as well. The bass part is always my least favorite. He did a decent job. I just don't tend to like the bass part for this piece. They always just sound too
deep and
just
I agree.
Gravelly.
Yeah, especially because they have a lot of ooh, ooh, ooh,
yeah.
that kind of thing. They do very quick
trills
16th notes, just going all up and down scales and stuff. So it's it sounds kind of gargled when the bass does it because it goes really low and it's just but yeah, it was really good. I liked it. Thumbs up.
Yes, it was all beautiful. And Chris did this as a surprise for me. He booked it weeks and weeks in advance and told me to get the day off for work and stuff like that, the night off for work.
And then I told her a few days ago what we were actually doing.
It was gorgeous and
good surprise.
Loved it, and it was an excellent surprise. I have the best husband ever, just saying.
And then just a few days later, after having done my parents' Christmas tree, when we were there for Thanksgiving weekend, we came back and we did our Christmas tree in our apartment. And the tree has been ornamentified, and it looks pretty awesome. I'm pretty excited about it.
It's really pretty. I
really love, we talked about this last year, but I really love all the color combinations of all of our ornaments together and stuff, and we got all of our little special ornaments, our first Christmas. This was given to us by my parents when we were engaged before we even got married, and it's right next to our Mickey and Minnie ornaments and these little cuties and other awesome little ornaments that we have been given and represent us And we have like ornaments all over it that Giselle has gotten over the years, that I've gotten over the years of like our lives. And we talked a bit about hers last year when her mom shipped them to us. So I might link that video as well for you to see if you want to watch the background of some of these ornaments. Actually, wait, let's turn the light off real quick. Oh yeah, it's really pretty. And I left the window open a little bit like that, the blinds, so people could admire it from outside.
So I treated myself. I was gonna treat myself. I was gonna buy this from my work. My work is a bookstore / gift shop, and they have several cute Christmas things, and I was gonna buy this, and then my very good friend Betsy decided to buy it for me because she's so sweet. And so
Betsy works there also.
Yes, and so this is it. It's all these little balls, and
oh, it's like glass.
Yeah, it's this really pretty, really nice little
glass tree with little balls that you can put on it and stuff.
Yeah, and then the balls don't even need like any extensions. They're just perfect on their own, so you could just slip them right on things.
That's awesome.
I wonder if there's backups.
I don't know. You might be able to like buy extras if you break them.
I think there are too many. Yeah, so I'll have to take some off.
Yeah, you have to make the colors look nice together and stuff.
Oops.
So they do give you extra.
I think so. Let's look. Maybe they don't. Maybe it's just the perfect amount.
Yeah, it looks like it.
There we go.
Perfect.
Isn't that so pretty?
Yeah.
I just saw it and I thought it was so delicate and beautiful and one of the most stunning things I've ever seen. I think I'm going to put it in the living room somewhere.
Yeah.
But thank you, Betsy. That's so gorgeous. I love it.
Right here is my Christmas present that I'm not allowed to look at that Giselle got for me. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, don't peek. I need to wrap them soon.
So this past winter, like 2017, was really crazy. It snowed like all the way into March. We got so much snow and had quite a few snow days. It's almost Christmas at this point. We are leaving tomorrow morning, very, very early, like only a few hours from now, honestly, to go be with Giselle's family for a week for Christmas. It'll be a fun time. We're heading off. We're mostly packed. We have to pack our toiletries and kind of double check and make sure we've got everything that we want. Everything, like we're bringing some presents and then our clothes for like a week. We have chargers we all need to bring. We just need to bring lots of different stuff with us. I think we're mostly done. But before we finish and go to bed, it's a little bit past 8 right now, before we go to bed to wake up earlier in the morning, Giselle has a bunch of presents that she has gotten for me underneath of our tree here. I don't have any presents for her under the tree. I feel really bad. Well, I did give her the Messiah tickets.
Yeah, which was amazing. We set a money cap that we could spend on each other. I went just under mine and Chris just went right under his or just hit his for Messiah tickets. So I feel like it's fair, but I may make him buy me another present. I want to go shoe shopping and buy a good pair of tennis shoes for work. So if we have time to do that, that can be your physical present to me and I'll let you wrap it up.
Okay. Well, what we were going to do, like last week or something, we were going to go, this past Saturday, we were going to go to a book sale, another book sale, but we ended up not going. That was going to be like a part of her overall present. Just whatever she just felt like having throughout December was going to be her present. I hadn't planned on really like getting anything and wrapping it, but she got me a bunch of stuff, mostly from her work, from the bookstore. It's like a bookstore / gift store, and she got me a bunch of random little things that she was hiding away from me for a little while, and she wrapped them the other day and put them under the tree, and they've been taunting me, and now I finally get to open them. I'll start with the little ones and work my way up to this massive red one.
Okay. Whatever you want, babe. Oh, jeez. There's something inside of it. I just used that box.
Oh, it says, on the box, it says goat milk hand cream, and I was like, okay, I will be grateful, even if I don't understand. It's a little unicorn keychain.
Yeah, you don't have to use it as a keychain if you don't want to.
It'll go with all my other little unicorns that are in my office. It looks like the baby of one of the other ones that you bought me.
Yeah, it does.
Like for the first weekend we met each other in person was my birthday weekend, or it was right before my birthday, and she brought me a bunch of birthday presents, and one of them was this bigger unicorn that was like the same company tie. It looks exactly the same but bigger, and it's not a keychain. This looks like the little baby version of it.
Yeah.
Giselle just went and got it. Here it is. This one's like spotted, and this one's hasn't grown into its spots yet.
Yes. Sure.
I'm gonna put them right next to each other on the shelf.
Okay.
She wrapped these all nice and like really cutely and stuff, like wrapping little ribbons around them and everything. And now I'm gonna tear them apart. Are these just all unicorns? Is this a giant unicorn back here? It's another little unicorn. This time a little fat, poofy, like Tsum Tsum looking one. I mean, it's not Tsum Tsum, but it looks very similar to a Tsum Tsum. Every one of these things is unicorn related, isn't it? It's another unicorn thing. It's grow unicorn. So just add water and it becomes unicorn. Is this just a box you just put it in? Or is the box, this is the box that came in?
No, it's not the box that came in.
It's another one. What the frick? How does your store sell this many unicorn things? I'm impressed. Unicorn Rescue Kit. Please adopt me. Kit includes plush unicorn and unicorn companion's guide. See, I told Giselle the other day, maybe yesterday, that I was going to bring all the stuff with me after I open it without knowing what it was yet. And she was like, you can bring one of them. And I was like, why? Now I understand. I can bring one unicorn with me instead of all 7 of them. Now, this one doesn't look like a unicorn, but it's a unicorn pen. What the frick? Why does your store have so much unicorn stuff? 2 more. What? They're getting progressively bigger. Is that what this is? Is this a giant unicorn? Look how big and fluffy this one is. I really like the way she wrapped this one.
It's a giant Tootsie Roll.
I told her that I was going to bring this biggest one with me.
He guessed that it was a stuffed unicorn. I hate you.
What I said was, if that's a unicorn pillow pet, I'm bringing it with me. And she was just like joking about like us being on the flight and the like people that work on the plane passing back and forth, and me just sitting there with my unicorn child on my lap the whole entire time, just enjoying life. Thank you. I appreciate it. Here, let me surround myself with unicorns. This is my unicorn family that Giselle has gotten me. I gotta be honest, I wasn't expecting this at all. I thought she probably would have gotten me 1 unicorn thing, because I know there had some unicorn things at the store, but I didn't realize they had this many. And, well, there's one more. The grow unicorn is not over here, but there. Well, this one she got me for my birthday like 3 years ago, but still. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
So we ended up not filming very much at all when we went out to be with Giselle's family for Christmas. But here is what we did film. We left super early in the morning to fly to Las Vegas, where Giselle's parents picked us up.
Well, it has been a very long morning so far. We're already in Las Vegas. We're waiting for her parents to come pick us up. And I wasn't feeling so well, but I think I'm feeling better now. We got up really early this morning, like 2.
30.
We're 2, well, yeah, it's in between 2 and 2:30. And then we almost had a panic attack, both of us, because we couldn't find an Uber or a Lyft. And we were like, how are we going to get to the airport? We don't want to spend all the money to park there. So we eventually got one. One finally showed up, and
like showed up on the app and we got it, and he came and got us, and then obviously we got to the airport in time, and,
and
it was really
dead.
it was really not busy at all. It was one of the least busiest times I've ever been to an airport. Like there was no one there whatsoever.
Yeah.
So
it made it quite nice, I must say. So
Yeah.
it was nice once we got there, and I was like, okay. Even though we got here a tiny bit later than I was hoping we would, we still sat at the terminal for a long time because
we sat there for like an hour
we
waiting.
got through security in like less than 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe like 3 minutes.
We didn't have to wait in line for anything. Yeah.
Like we put all our stuff on, then we walked through, and then we put all our stuff back on.
Yeah. And I've just been too tired all morning to vlog, but we only had a quick 45-minute long flight to JFK in New York, and we stayed in New York for like an hour or so, an hour and a half, which was a nice little break. And then we took it felt really long. It wasn't that long, I guess. It was like 5.5 hours. I got to sleep a little bit in it, and she slept a little bit as well throughout both flights.
Once I finally slept, it felt really long until I was finally able to fall asleep because I was running on like 3 hours of sleep, less than that. And so once I actually finally got to sleep a little bit, it flew by for me. The flight was actually really quick for me because I was reading a really good book / listening to a really good book.
Yeah, we're both. Well, I'm just now starting to read. You can't see the cover. It's Leonardo da Vinci by Walter Isaacson.
Oh, it's so good.
She really likes it so far. I like it after like the first chapter that I read.
Yeah.
After reading for a little bit of a plane, I got kind of a headache. And while I was reading, we were landing to come here, and the landing was really bad, and I just had this giant stomach ache and headache all of a sudden, and I felt like throwing up. And
it made us both nauseous.
It was pretty awful. And then we have a couple-hour drive to St. George, Utah, which is where we're staying at in a rental house with her family. Her parents rented this nice rental house for us. It's this big community-ish kind of thing of rental houses, and we got one. And her whole immediate family is staying there, except for her brothers. Yeah, it's gonna be a really interesting weekend.
Just because they're not coming. It's not like we're not letting them stay in the house with us.
They're not able to come.
Yeah.
So we will have a fun-filled weekend. Hopefully, it's actually a week. We're not gonna be back until Wednesday of next week, and we don't go back to work until Thursday of next week. So it's gonna be a nice week-long vacation.
We needed the break.
We did. We've been really exhausted. It's one of the reasons why vlogs have been going up, why we just haven't been doing much of anything besides going to work, coming home, and just relaxing and not doing much of anything.
Vegging out, pretty much, yeah.
It's been a really stressful past couple of months, I feel like, at work, and I think we both really need this vacation. So the flight was not such a great start to it. That flight really made me nauseous, and honestly, sleeping on a plane kind of makes me feel nauseous in the first place.
So then Giselle's parents picked us up, and then we actually went to Giselle's sister's house first to stay with them for a couple nights while the rental house was getting ready, and then while we were waiting for everybody else in Giselle's family to get there.
So it's been a little while. We're currently driving to the house that we're going to be staying at with all of Giselle's family. We've already been there. We spent pretty much the whole morning doing errands. We went to the grocery store and Costco, bought a ridiculous amount of food, but there's 17 people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's now Saturday. We've been at Jasmine's house, Giselle's sister Jasmine's house, for the past, just yesterday, I guess. We spent the night last night and the night before that, so 2 nights in one day. There wasn't a whole lot of interesting stuff happening, so we didn't really vlog at all, but wanted to vlog the rest of the weekend at the interesting house because it's a really cool house. It has 5 bedrooms. We have a bedroom to ourselves. We got the first pick bedrooms because we were there first.
First pick out of 2.
Yeah, there's only 2 we got to choose from because one of the bedrooms is for her oldest sister and her kids and stuff. So.
And one of the bedrooms is for my parents, and then one of the rooms is part bedroom, part living room, and that's where the boys are going to sleep. So.
Yeah, so we got to choose between a bunk bed and a bed that is adult-sized. So we chose the adult-sized bed, and her sister Autumn and Matt got the bunk beds.
Which is fine. The beds are still big enough that they could sleep in it together if they wanted, and there'd be an empty bed.
So we're headed there now. We're in Giselle's mom's car because we had to go back and get her stuff from Jasmine's house.
I haven't showered today yet, so I need to go to the house and shower. And we're gonna have a fun weekend now at this house. I don't know what we're doing, but I guess we're just hanging at the house for the rest of the day. So yeah, where we stayed was just like this really interesting, cool community of like rental houses, really nice, well-maintained rental houses. They were like kind of like duplex style, but seemed a bit bigger than normal duplexes. And they were, like I said, really nice, and it was really comfortable for all of us to stay in one. We kind of just wanted to like just enjoy what we were doing and just relax, and ended up not wanting to film very much while we were there, which is why there aren't very many clips. But we did play a lot of games. We put up a Christmas tree. We ate a lot of food. We had tons of food while we were there, and we actually went swimming on Christmas Day, which is really bizarre and weird, and it's something I've never done before. So that's the end of 2017, basically. When we got back from our Christmas trip, it was just a few days until January, and it was not a great January, not a great beginning to 2018. Our heating in the apartment can get a little bit expensive, not like overtly so, but it's like expensive enough if you like leave it on like all the time. It didn't seem like a good idea to have it on like while we were gone, so we had it off while we were away on our trip. So that week we were gone, it was like incredibly cold here. It was really, really cold, like in the negatives, just like it was really, really cold throughout the rest of the winter. And our heating is like baseboard heating, so it's like a bunch of little pipes that are inside of these metal baseboard things that just kind of go all around the apartment, and they give off heat, and that's how our apartment is heated. Hot water is pumped through them and everything. So I don't know if anyone knows anything about this kind of heating, then you might kind of see where this story is going. Those pipes froze while we were gone, or at least they had frozen somewhere in the line that goes through our apartment. And we had thought that like since it was so cold outside, like when we got back, we thought it was so cold outside, and like we've had this problem before where like our heat doesn't work that well because it's like being let out through the windows because the windows aren't like really, really well sealed. We thought that we just had it off for too long of a time, so like we just needed to like really warm up, and we just thought it was taking a long time to heat the place up. So we didn't really bother our landlord with it at first. So luckily my parents had just given us these 2 space heaters, which were really helpful for a variety of reasons. But at that moment specifically, like it was the only heat that we had. It was really great. But we had a problem with our heating being not working so great last year, and that our apartment being super cold last year, even though the heat was on and working. So something that people have been telling us to do was to cover up all of our windows, seal all of our windows with plastic. So I went out and got plastic stuff after a few days and covered all of the windows in the apartment with plastic. That didn't really help much at the time. So we finally we went to our landlord and was like, what's up with this? Why isn't our heat working? It's like really cold. So he finally came up and determined that something had frozen. And so he had a friend who's a plumber come over and take a look for sure. And yes, there were bits in this room specifically. I think this was the only room where pipes had burst and like needed replacing. So things had frozen, so the pipes needed to be like completely thawed and then drained, and then they fixed the burst pipes that had burst because they had frozen. And it took like 3 weeks. We were without heat for like 3 weeks, and it was not very fun. In fact, it was awful. And like when the plumber came, he wanted everything taken away from the walls, everything taken away from where baseboard heating was. So our apartment was just like destroyed and just like torn apart for two of those weeks. Like our apartment was just completely and totally in disarray, and everything was everywhere. And that combined with like no heat at all it was not great. Once that was fixed though, it was all good. The plastic definitely helped at that point for sure. Our apartment was nice and warm throughout the rest of winter. We learned a very good lesson from that whole thing, and you can bet that is never going to happen again. We are never going to let that happen again. I'm honestly I'm really glad our landlord likes us, because I'm surprised he didn't kick us out for doing that. But I mean, we paid for it, and I think he could tell that we had learned our lesson. We were definitely never going to let this happen again. And then our life just kind of moved on as normal for a while, and then some really cool things happened in March. So the company I work for has
two review cycles every year, a winter cycle and a summer cycle. And the winter cycle ends in March. So like we'll give like feedback to our coworkers. We'll give like this formal written feedback to our coworkers. Our coworkers will give feedback to us. We do feedback on our managers. Our managers do feedback on us. And at the end of all that, our managers sit down with us and have a one-on-one with us and like talk through the feedback, talk through like how we've been doing and all that kind of stuff. And so there's also like when promotions happen, when raises happen, when we get our bonuses. So my one-on-one with my manager went really, really well. And I had known that I was doing well. We had one-on-ones even before that, where she was like, things are going really well. Basically, if you don't know, I'm a photo compositor and retoucher. I work in a photo studio that does all the photography and photo retouching for Wayfair, which is like a furniture place that you like order furniture and home decor and all this kind of stuff there. So we have this huge photo studio with like a dozen photo bays that are really, really big that you can build whole rooms and stuff in. So they build like these sets, they build rooms, these sets, and fill it with product, with furniture and like decorations and home decor and all that kind of stuff. And they don't paint the walls. The walls are gray. The walls are kind of like just like sort of thrown together. The sets are not like the best ever, but like they're made to be like easily put together and stuff like that. There's like windows without anything in them. Sometimes we do outdoor shots that, especially for like summer, we do a lot of outdoor shots where you see like they're supposed to be made to look like they're outdoor, but then I'm the one who comes in at the end. I finish the image. I color correct it. I retouch all of the imperfections out, make it look really nice, and then I paint the walls. I put stuff out the windows. I make outdoor shots look realistic, like they're actually outside and all that kind of stuff. So, and then the way this works is a lot of the retouchers, Wayfair has a lot of different brands. A lot of the retouchers get assigned all these different brands by our manager, and it's kind of like it changes from day to day. But I had been working on this one brand. I was kind of like the person to go to for this one brand. I was the only person working on it, and I just had ownership over it. I am the one everyone communicates to about questions relating to this brand, and specifically relating to post-production and like the finished product, the finished image, the final output of those images. So my manager has been like really happy with how I've been handling it. Really doesn't need to like manage what I'm doing. She constantly says like, she doesn't have to worry about me. She doesn't have to worry about me or that brand. She knows that I have it taken care of. I'm autonomous. I know what I need to do. I'm just like, I just do it and I'm good at it. I have this line of communication with the brand stakeholders and all that kind of stuff. So it's like, it's all been developing nicely. And then in March, I got a promotion. So the company has levels, and like for the first 2 years of working there, I was level 1, obviously coming as level 1, and I got promoted to level 2. I also got a raise, and if you haven't watched the other 2 parts, I'll tell you now, I also got a raise in September of 2017. So, and then a few weeks after I got my promotion and raise, Giselle actually got a raise at her job as well, another one, when we had just gotten raises in September. So like, all of a sudden, from like March 2017 to March 2018, our financial situation had just gotten a lot better. I mean, we're still like drowning in my student loan debt and everything, but we're doing much better and everything is going really well. And actually, also, this has kind of allowed for us to do something else really cool and really great, which is we were able to get a new car. So this is our new car. It is a 2018 Chevrolet Equinox, and I love it. I don't know how much we showed our old car in our videos, but I'm pretty sure it was like in the background for at least a little bit. And so this is the old car. It's an old 2001 Honda CR-V, and we've had it for a few years now, and it's just so many issues were happening with it, and I just hate driving it. It's really clunky, and the controls, like the steering and the braking are all just like difficult, and then the power steering fluid started leaking a bunch, so we started having to put a ton of power steering fluid in it, and then other stuff started happening like right after we got this car. So we're really glad we got this car when we did, because now this one is just not great. But so we got this car. It's a 2018 Chevrolet Equinox. Like I said, it's the newest like car that I've ever had. I've never had a car this nice. I've never had a car this new. I've never had a car that was as smooth to drive as this one is, and I've fallen completely in love with it. I love everything about it. It's so shiny and sleek, and yeah, I'm really happy about it. It's great. It's the first time I've ever had a car that like had one of these touch screens in it, with like, yeah, we can put our we can plug our phones in here, and the Android Auto will connect, and we can use navigation on there, and it's just it's so nice. I love it so much. And the screen that shows the speed instead of having to constantly look at the needle, it just shows you what speed you're at, and it's just really nice and spacious. It's just, I love it. I love the inside of it. I love the outside of it. Everything about it is just great. And I've been trying really hard to take care of it really nicely. Like, I take it to get washed as often as I can, like maybe like once a month or so, which I've never done before. I've never really taken a car to a car wash before, just because, I don't know, I've never really thought about it. But with this one, especially because it's a lease, I'm trying to take as good care of it as I possibly can. And yeah. So the way this came about was, well, there was a problem with our old car last year. I don't remember the month. I think maybe like October or November or something like that, sometime around then. And we had talked with my dad about possibly leasing a car. He works for a Chevrolet. He's worked at a Chevrolet for many years now. And we talked then about the possibility of us leasing a car, but we couldn't exactly afford it. I mean, maybe if we really pushed it, we could have. But the CRV, like when we took it to see what was wrong with it, then the place we took it to said it would be like $2,000 to fix, and we were like, we're not spending that much money on this car. And I talked to my dad about like the issues they said it had, and like what would we be getting for that $2,000. And he was like, yeah, don't do that. And he knows a lot about cars, my dad does, and he was just like, don't do that. I mean, it's probably fine. Like in a few months, we had to get it inspected in January. In Massachusetts, you have to get your car inspected every single year. So we took it to inspection a few months later in January, and it didn't pass inspection for a few reasons. And the place that we took it to is a place that I really like. They're really nice, and just like give really good prices. And yeah, we've taken it to them before, and so they told us that we would only have to spend like $500 to fix everything that needed to be fixed for inspection. So we did that, and it worked fine for a few months, and then in March, like I said, we got our raises, and my dad, like a few weeks later, my dad was like, I've been looking into leasing this car for you. We have a ton of like specials on right now, like things that could help you save money on this. And so basically one of the only reasons we were able to get this and like feel really comfortable with getting it and like feel really good about getting it is that my dad got us a bunch of really great like offers put onto it, and so it saved us a ton of money. And so our lease per month ended up not being too expensive. And then though it's actually more expensive for like car insurance than it is for the actual lease itself now. So with the car insurance, obviously we had to take that into account. So we had both cars in the car insurance. And actually with Geico, it was like if you put the two cars on it, you save like 25%. And it actually ends up being so that it's $500 less to have both cars on our insurance than to have just this car on our insurance. So we kept both cars, and we were using it as much as we could. Like I would take it to the gym, the old car, and Giselle would drive it to work on Saturdays. And but it just started making weird noises. The power steering started leaking, like I said, and we were just having so many issues with it that we're probably not going to drive it anymore. But anyway, so my dad got us this lease from his Chevrolet and actually drove this car up from Maryland to Massachusetts for us because it was in Maryland where he is, and he drove it up here for us the like third week of March or something, somewhere around there, because then the week he drove it up there then for us because we were driving down to Maryland for Easter, which was Easter was April 1st, so we drove down a few days before Easter to be there for the weekend. And we wanted to not have to drive the CRV. So he drove this thing all the way out to Massachusetts for us, and then took a flight back to Maryland. And it was just extremely nice, extremely generous of him to do that. And we really, really appreciated it, because it was wonderful driving down to Easter in this thing. And I just, like, I love this car. I love driving it, especially compared to that one. And it's just like, I don't know, this car is nicer than I've ever had, anything I've ever had before. So like I said, I've really been trying to take care of it. We've really enjoyed driving it. I really enjoyed driving it down to Maryland and back up. And yeah, it's great. It's just made our lives a lot easier and better having it. So one last thing I wanted to mention from this period before we move on is that we bought a new computer. It's a new laptop. It's an MSI laptop. It's kind of like a gaming laptop that's perfect for video editing and photo editing and gaming, and just works really nicely. It's so smooth. It's so much nicer to have this than to have the old computer that we were using. Our old computer was seriously struggling, just like not having any of it. I mean, it was 5 years old. I had gotten it in 2013. I used it almost every single day that entire time. I used it for tons of video editing, for BookTube and for vlogs during those 5 years, and it's just like, yeah, we used it quite a lot. One of the reasons why the vlog never happened, why the vlogs never came out last year, was that it would shut off every time I tried to edit it. After I pulled up Adobe Premiere, I would just start editing, and then 5 minutes later the computer would overheat and then shut off like immediately. So I just was done with it. I don't know, I didn't feel like doing it anymore. It completely killed any want that I had to keep making videos. So I even did that like during the winter when it was super cold outside. So it was just really frustrating. And yeah, so in April we kind of like sprung. I mean, we had decided that we had enough money to go out and get a new laptop. So we did. At the time, we really wanted to play some games. At the time, I was like super in the mood to play Minecraft, and the same thing on the old computer. If I pulled it up 2 minutes later, it would just crash and overheat and just turn off. So I couldn't. So we went and got a new one, and it's awesome. And I mean, it's still taking us a while to get these videos out, but I did start making like BookTube videos again, at least a couple, and I do plan on making more. I've been focusing on these, and Giselle has been making videos, and I've been editing those. Giselle's been doing live streams, so like we've been using it, and now these are finally going out, and this new computer has been super smooth and helpful in doing that. I'm just really glad that I finally edited these and can now release them all to you. Well, now that you guys are all officially caught up, we are about to go on a trip. We're leaving tomorrow. Right now it's Monday the 7th, May 7th. Monday, May 7th, and tomorrow morning, very early in the morning, we are leaving to go to California for a week, from Tuesday to Sunday. A week flying back on Sunday. So we're going to go to California. Giselle's parents are going to be moving soon, and this is Giselle's last opportunity to see her house that she grew up in. So that's kind of sad, but I'm glad we get to go see it, right?
Yes.
And we're going to go to Disneyland for 2 days, which we've been planning and being really excited about. Actually, we've been excited about the whole trip, but
I'm not excited at all. I'm just dreading it so much.
As soon as we got in the car today to head home, we were like, we're on vacation. We're on vacation.
Yes.
It feels so good. We've been talking about it for months now, and it's finally happening. And we've been packing for the past few days. Giselle's been getting all her stuff ready. I've gotten all my stuff ready already.
Yeah. I just need to pretty much throw everything in the suitcase. So.
Yeah, our apartment's just kind of like a messy mess right now. So that's our suitcase right there. Giselle's been going through all her clothes, deciding what outfits to bring and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, my stuff is all in there.
We have to remember to bring our Minnie ears and our Sorcerer Mickey ears. And we may buy more ears while we're there, who knows? And I have like all my outfits in this pile right here. And of course you have to bring accessories and like all my jewelry and stuff. So I've just been planning everything out. But I remembered that I didn't lay out any of my lipstick yet, so I have to lay out all my outfits again and choose a lipstick for each day. You can't forget lipstick. Lipstick is the most important part.
We're really trying to pack minimally so that we don't have to bring as much with us. So we're like, she's really planning out her outfits, so you just have to like Sometimes when we go places, she'll just bring a bunch of clothes and decide what to wear.
That's usually when we're driving. When we're driving, then it's a lot more like easy to bring like, oh,
That's true.
like 6 tops, even though we're only going to be there 3 days, because
Yeah,
that's
since
fine.
it's fine, we can fit it in the car.
Yeah, so not that I'll have an individual lipstick for each day, but I want at least 2 or 3 that will like match a lot of the days.
As you can see, we have one, 2, 3 suitcases all packed into one another. So this suitcase has our clothes in it, and then that's inside of another suitcase, inside of another suitcase, and we are going to use these other 2 suitcases on the way back to bring home books. Since Giselle's parents are moving, we really need to bring lots of stuff back. It's not just books,
It's
but
not just books. It's
lots of
my
stuff.
whole life, essentially. So
Yeah.
hopefully we can bring back as much as possible. We're definitely gonna, I think, have to mail some back, but this is a lot cheaper for like a lot more storage. So might as well.
So as I said, we are going to Disneyland. We are really, really excited for the whole week because we have like every single thing planned out that we're gonna like eat and stuff. Giselle really misses In-N-Out, and I kind of miss it too. And we're gonna eat lots of other stuff around there. We have everything planned out that we want to eat at Disneyland. You're gonna be seeing us eat a lot. Just forewarned. I've actually, you haven't seen me in a while. I've lost like 40 pounds since the last time we actually were vlogging regularly, but I'm about to gain it all back in California. But I'll have to.
All of it. Getting in 40 pounds in 5 days.
I wouldn't be surprised. Well, anyway, that is it for this vlog. We will see you tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning we're gonna
Bright
start.
and early.
Yes, bright and early. We're gonna vlog. I think every single day individually. So you'll see lots of vlogs after this one for each individual day in California. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you feel all caught up now, and hope you're looking forward to seeing us in California. Bye, everyone.